Welcome to the first video edition of Business Leader of the Week by Daba. My name is Chris Annie, your host and founder, Daba.school. Of course, you know, a platform where people are gaining high income skill to gain financial freedom, wealth creation, and also to build their capacity. And on today's edition, I have here with me Glory Oguegbu. She is the founder of RETI. She's an author and a Mandela Washington Fellow. And this lady is a trailblazer in the renewable energy industry. Good to have you here, Glory.
Thank you for having me. You flatter me a lot, Chris. First of all, I must say that this is such an amazing space that you've got here. I've been a day one admirer of the work that you guys do here at Daba.school. Guys, and I have to tell you how I met Chris. He was on a plane going to Dubai. I was on my way to Paris, and there was this guy sitting beside me. He was dozing throughout in the plane. It was just two of us on the seat, and I was going to Paris, but the plane was going to get to Dubai first. Then after a while, I went to the restroom and came back, and then this person was still sleeping. And so after a while, I just noticed someone say, "Hello, lady, have you heard about crypto? My name is Chris. I've written a book on cryptocurrency." Then he starts talking with so much passion, and I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. I knew that this was a different person. I'm like, "Are you in Nigeria? Are you also coming from Nigeria?" And he tells me about this massive speaking engagement he was going to do at Dubai. I was so impressed because I was like, this is a young guy like me. This is a young person like me. And he gives me a copy of his book. I think it's Crypto 101.
Yes.
Right. And guys, we started talking about dreams. He started talking to me about visions, the passion he had for Daba. I'm like, wow, this is a person to know. And he was the first person to tell me how to use Zoom. At the time, I didn't know how to use Zoom. He taught me how to create a schedule a call. And guys, I was just so hopeful for tomorrow. We talked about dreams and everything. And he said we had to do something together about renewable energy. Great. So he taught me a lot of digital things. And this was late December 2019, right? Yes. And I'm so happy to see what Daba has built in this day. So I'm really happy to tell people that I know Chris. So thank you so much for having me, Chris.
You're welcome.
I think I was meant to do an introduction, right?
Go ahead.
My name is Glory Oguegbu. I'm the founder and CEO of Renewable Energy Technology Training Institutes. My industry is the solar industry because I'm very passionate about how to promote access to electricity to up to 93 million Nigerians who have no access. I'm very passionate about writing and telling stories. So I talk a lot about climate change. I teach children about how renewable energy is a solution for climate change. And so I've written 5 books. My latest book now is How to Make Money from Solar. And so I'm constantly talking about how people could create businesses to promote access to electricity. A whole 93 million Nigerians have no access. That is a market size. And a lot of young people can create businesses and solve this problem. And so that is what I do at Renewable Energy Tech Training Institute, to actually train people on the value chains, the opportunities that are in the industry.
Wow, that's big. That's big.
Thank you so much.
And not to cut you, but I want you to tell us about the renewable energy industry in Africa, the possibilities, the current challenges, the ongoing solutions, and of course, business opportunity. So you could start with the challenge. Give us an overview of the industry itself.
Thank you. And that's one of the questions I like answering the most. Now, I like to say that 600 million people in Africa are without access to electricity.
Wow.
That's a lot of people,
wow.
600 million. Now, in Nigeria, we have the highest number of people globally without electricity access, 93 million Nigerians. And so experts have said that the fastest way to deliver access to 24/7 electricity to these people is through solar power. Right, because if we are waiting, and when I say 93 million people, I'm talking about 93 million people in Nigeria that have never seen a NEPA pole.
Wow.
There is no electricity or NEPA wirings in their house. I'm not talking about people like you and I that don't see the regular electricity. So people like you and I that have electricity connection, but we hardly see the light. We are called people living under the grid. So there is about 170 million other people who do not have access to constant power. You know, so, and these have hampered economic development a whole lot.
Yes.
And so I was discussing with Chris earlier, what access to electricity could do to young people and how new businesses can grow and develop. And so this is the problem. And because every problem needs a solution, initiatives in solar power, initiative in renewable energy began to spring up because this need had to be met. And so that is what the industry looks like. Solar power technology became popular because the development of the technology has seen a rise in the last 5 years.
Interesting.
Do you know that at this time, solar power is now known as the LCOE, that is the lowest cost of electricity. It means that solar power is becoming the cheapest form of electricity generation. So you talk about diesel, you talk about gas and hydro. Solar technology has become the cheapest. Of course, we haven't seen this materialize in Nigeria yet because, of course, of what our economy is going through, because of Forex and inflation. So you can imagine what it's going to look like in the next 5 years, right? Because these people without access to electricity have to have this access. And so there is the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Goal 7, says that by 2030, there should be complete access to electricity in the whole world. How can this happen? Now, capacity building is a very important aspect of achieving access to 24/7 electricity. People, you need to understand what the value chain is. If we must deliver access to electricity to like 3 million people, what do we do? How do we understand the various intricacies of what makes up solar power, right? Where can I key in? Which area can I come from? Is it the area, I'm in the finance sector.
So maybe you just list the value chains.
Good. So if I'm in the finance sector, what kind of value chain, what kind of value can I provide for solar power? In the value chain, I can consider instruments, financial instruments, specifically for solar power. I can think about, oh, I already have mechanical engineering background. I can actually build inverters. Inverters work with solar panel, battery, and charge controller to generate electricity.
Very well.
And so you have people who are good in marketing and sales. You have people who are good in community development for solar power. And you have people who can just be trained as installers only. Oh, I want to go and install solar panels. You have people who can become designers. I was having a conversation on the phone just before I got on the set with a lady who is very good at designing. She told me, I cannot install, but I can design. Design simply means determining the amount of solar power that will be useful for a space. So you see, these are the areas that young people can learn something. And people can find a way to to pitch into any of the niches, right? You design the system, sell your design to a hospital. Oh, hello, doctor. I have a design that can work for your hospital. You don't have to spend so much amount on diesel. This is design, pay me for my design, then get an engineer to install the solar power for you. So you find that mathematicians, those that study statistics, engineers, can all do something in this sector because it's a sector that is very interesting because of the opportunities. Now, let me shock you. Up to $330 billion is the amount of money that's been invested into the solar power only in year 2015.
Wow.
It hit a peak every year. And I find it very surprising. Why? Because we had gas and coal and other sources of power generation before. But how come renewable and solar power has gotten the largest amount of investment globally? So it means that, wow, there's something here. Don't you think so?
There's something.
Young people can key into this opportunity to create solutions. Thank you. To create solutions to meet the electricity need of people in Nigeria. I know that I have talked too much past the question.
No. That's great. So, I want you to go to the next phase of, you have a platform called RETI, a non-governmental organization. Tell us, what is RETI doing? What have you been doing with RETI? What's the impact and, programs you are doing with RETI?
Thank you. So RETI stands for Renewable Energy Technology Training Institute, where we train and mentor people along the value chains of renewable energy power generation, solar power, wind energy, and the opportunities around this. I was just telling Chris before I got on the set that just one area can open up a whole nother world of several opportunities, right? And so just this one area of solar power or this one area of wind energy, there is a lot of other things tied in the value chain. Even professors in the university benefit from project development of renewable energy. Engineering students benefit from something, so it's a very rich value chain, right? And so RETI wants to help people to see how to create a change and how to make a difference in the sector. the sector is quite complex because people don't understand how this solar power works. How can I do a business in it? I've been hearing people saying solar, solar. Some people then say that solar doesn't work. And so my company is here to just make it simple for you. So we have created courses to walk you down the line, different courses for the renewable energy sector, different courses for companies wanting to pivot into the renewable energy sector. So we recently even had a software company who wanted to pivot. So they're saying, oh, we want to do something in solar. And so we have such trainings for companies. So anyone wanting to come into the country, oh, what is the market like for solar power in Nigeria? They should come to RETI, because the goal is really to make it simple to pivot into the energy industry. And so we are training people in Nigeria to learn how to do that. Value chains such as building solar panels, installing solar panels, designing solutions for banks, for industries, for Dangote Group, for CNI. CNI means, I think, commercial and industry. Right, and so what do you need to know before you can do that? How can you prospect for your market? How do you get these people? How do you get access to the market? So RETI is there and has designed courses along this value chain of repair, maintenance, troubleshooting, marketing and sales, design, installation, distribution, including importing from China, how to import the solar products from China. Wow. We have members of alumni that we have trained already, and yesterday we actually secured a deal with a Chinese company for them. Wow. I finished a meeting with the CEO of a Chinese company, manufacturer of solar products, and we had the opportunity to secure the meeting for 10 members of alumni who want to import. Great. I mean, that's the real that's what I see as value. Don't you think so?
That's real value.
When you train somebody and then you're able to then take it further. And now they want to buy as a group, which is what I love, because one person could not afford to buy a container. So now the 10 alumni members now want to
buy as a group.
Yes, and I felt very happy yesterday. Why? Because I mean, this thing is actually looking like, wow, you're solving a problem, because now these guys have set up businesses, and they're able to buy from China. And so that's what RETI does for its alumni. So we're not like any other, maybe a trainee solar company that will just we are not interested in money. My goal is to see that 93 million people in Nigeria without access to electricity can have it. And when I train 100 people or 200 people, you imagine how many other people can have light.
The effects.
And so that's really my goal. So that's what RETI set out to do.
Glory has a very big vision, I must say, because I got interested in what she was doing when she mentioned renewable energy for the first time and
that's
solar. What you're showing on the screen now, I don't know. There's a time when you talked about a program with people in Makoko or something.
Yes.
Women and the empowering of women in the slum. Can you give us a brief of that program?
Thank
and
you.
The impact.
Okay, thanks. So RETI, Renewable Energy Tech Training Institute, has a CSR called Solar Up Nigeria.
Okay.
In brackets, sun. You know we're talking about sun, solar power.
Wow, good concept. Solar Up Nigeria.
Thank you. So Solar Up Nigeria, sun. The goal is to go to rural communities without access to electricity and provide the power. And so we do that, and we came across a person from Makoko, a lady. So I was at a conference where I was a speaker and I was on a panel, and the lady is in the hall, and then she says, I have a question. I come from a rural area where we sell fish, and most of the time our fish gets damaged. Is there a solar solution for this? And I was so shocked. I mean, this was coming from somebody in the crowd, right?
Wow.
And it is from the crowd you can get the real problem.
Yes.
Like if you're a change maker and you're looking to solve problems, it is not from the ones you see on Google. It is from the grassroots. Like, what are the people on the ground saying?
Yes.
And I really became interested. So I saw the lady afterwards, and I talked to her. Then we gave her a scholarship in my school to come and learn about solar. But you know, like I kept thinking about her, because this is a real problem. She said that the economy of that community is driven by fish. But the fish gets damaged, they're not able to get their money back. So that's like, if you can find a solution for that's
a big one.
Exactly. And so I kept her in mind, even after that training with it, but I kept her in mind. So luckily, an opportunity came from the US State Department, because I'm a Mandela Washington Fellow, so which is a US government exchange program. So there's an opportunity for alumni to apply for a grant. And that was the opportunity I saw to create that program, Makoko Solar Women's Economic Empowerment Program.
Wow.
So we found 20 fish traders who sell fish, and then we trained them on how to create solar dryers that can preserve their fish. So we We built it. We actually had an American come to the country as part of that program. It's a reciprocal exchange grant. So I had an American contact I know come down to Nigeria to implement that project. Wow. Now, but what is interesting is that we built a center, solar-powered center, where the women can even learn more things, access education, access tools for solar power development. Because solar power is not just solar on the rooftop. It's also solar products, solar dryers, solar oven that small businesses can use to actually preserve their products, right? And so, like play, we built a solar center there. That has provided electricity for charging of phones, though, to about 757 homes inside that microcosm. That place is actually very big. And so that small center we built, you see barbers coming there to use the light there. And then you see people coming to charge their phones.
That's an economy on its own.
Yes, and it has created jobs for at least the 20 women that we created. Now they're able to save more money from fish, from fish preservation, because the fishes are not damaging now. And they're able to just retain more cash and buy more. So basically improving economic development. So that's what solar power does.
This is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. So
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask you, Glory, because in this era where everybody is just interested in some kind of fast money-making business, some kind of let's hit it quick, what inspired you to go into the solar energy business? And at the same time, with what you have done, especially in that Makoko and this last project you just talked about, what exactly inspired you to start RETI? What inspired you to go into the solar energy industry?
Oh, it was really because of the problem that I saw. The truth is that I learned about climate change was the inspiration initially. Because I had returned from the US in 2015 where I heard about climate change. And I saw the impact climate change is going to have in Africa. I was so frightened by what I read.
Wow.
Yes. And then I saw a picture. Maybe that picture might be on the screen now. The picture is an image from World Wildlife Fund, where it is a human being in the picture, but he looks like a fish. It's as if his face is turning, is changing.
Wow.
And there's a caption on the image that says, "Stop climate change before it changes you."
Wow.
Hello.
Scary.
I became thank you.
Scary.
That's exactly what happened to me. I became, because now what it did was that it was a very thought-provoking thing. So I began to think about it. Now, will climate change do that? I didn't really know, but it was a prediction from World Wildlife Fund that the increase of carbon dioxide in the air, in the atmosphere, could become, is leading to a lot of ice melting, and it could become so bad that the human skin would evolve to deal with the changes in the atmosphere. Jeez. The human skin will begin to change. I don't know how to explain it. It's as if we are used to a certain temperature in the world now, right? But it's saying that it could become so warm, so hot, and your skin will just disfigure, just change to deal with it. There's a reason why fishes have gills, because they need to live in water. There's a reason why fish cannot survive on the outside. So it's like us too, human beings. So there's a way the atmosphere can change, and it will affect us. That was a prediction though, but that really fueled, I began to read about it. I'm like, wow, how come in Nigeria we don't know about this, right? Because I knew we don't really know much about it. I began to research about it. So that was how I wrote my first book, The Concept and Science of Climate, because I took a lot of courses. I came to Nigeria. I'm like, I have to talk about this. That was how I learned that renewable energy is a clean source of electricity that could combat climate change. So instead of us to generate electricity from our usual ways, like diesel and gas, we can actually use cleaner sources. And so I became an advocate, because this is two solutions, one solution for two problems. Renewable energy can provide us access to electricity, and then it can help solve this climate change menace.
Global warming.
Right, and then I saw that my parents actually then moved to a house that they built. You know the way your parents would build a house and move away from the house you know before where you were born. But the place they moved to, a community off the town, had no electricity in that community as a whole.
Interesting.
Yes, they had no electricity at all. And I was just taking a stroll, and I just returned from the US, then I was taking a stroll around, and I saw a health center that had solar panels on it. I was like, wow, okay, we can use this for light, because my parents don't have any lights. But I went into the center, and the people, it was a health clinic, told me that, oh, the solar does not work. It's not working, they just put it here 6 months ago. It's no longer working. And I was so disappointed. I learned 3 things from that. lack of trained and maintenance people, lack of trained installers, lack of trained engineers who could actually install these things to be sustainable, and lack of knowledge for how to identify fake products or quality products, right? And so that was really what made me to create Renewable Energy Tech Trade, to just solve this problem.
Wow.
How can we solve the problem of lack of sustainable installations out there? And how can we help combat climate change? And so that was the inspiration, because the problem was there and you had to have a solution.
I'm already writing. I hope you're watching. As you're watching, you're taking business notes, because this is one of the most interesting conversations I am having this year. Because legitimately, this is like saying you saw a real problem there, live in the community, amongst people. So it's like saying, if I want to start a business today, I should go and look for the problem I want to solve. Let me look for real-time problems that people have, okay,
on the ground,
and on ground. So when she saw the hospital, and like, what happened? They said it's not working. From not working to, we installed this, and now two things were there. Okay, what will I pick from there? Number one, I need to have a platform where you can train people to install solar panels and help them generate electricity. Not just that, I can start even selling solar equipment to different communities and see if it's possible to power an entire community or a nation. It starts like that. So before you start thinking of changing the entire world, start with the community problem. Start with one person.
Your compound.
Start with two persons, okay? And now you can see her talking about 93 million people. Why? She has done it in several communities and she's not stopping. Glory, that's a wonderful one. And I must say, that's a big one, and I must celebrate you big time.
Thank you so
much.
Now,
with what you've been doing, I know the challenges that comes with building, starting a business. So I want to share with us, what are the strategies that has helped you? You came back from the US, you saw this problem and all that. There are millions or thousands of potential solar entrepreneurs, people in the renewable energy, who want to be the next Glory, who want to also learn from Glory and see what she has done. Share with us the strategies you've used to build a successful business and career in this industry.
Oh, first of all, I would say, thank you. You've already said it. Find the problem. It's always important. That's the first place to start. You started Daba because you wanted people to learn skills. You saw a lot of skills hanging around. And how come young people are not making money? Yeah. You saw that problem and you decided to solve it by creating a platform where the people can learn the skills. So likewise, it has to be that there can't be any value if there is no problem that you're solving. So it is a problem that you provide value for. And it is the value that will bring finance, money.
Yes.
Right. So pick out a problem that you have seen, something that troubles people around you. Right. So it could be that you already have an experience in a particular sector. Okay, what is that nagging problem in that sector for people? To make it in business, you have to tackle a customer's pain point. I tell my students that. You have to tackle a customer's pain point. If there's no pain point, there isn't a lot of value that has been created. Yeah. So find that, and as soon as you do, then you must bring the idea out of your head. You know, when people think of business plan, they think it's hectic. No. I tell my students it's just one page. Just bring the idea out of your head and write it down. It's going to help you to take a look at it. And then that is the first step. Then you have to build a community. Usually what happens is that people first start out. And I encourage you to start out first on your own. I was just speaking on the phone to someone. I started out on my own. I did not know what to do or who to tell me. Wow. And I'm sure you didn't start with a whole lot of people as well.
Yes.
Implement that idea you have. Speak about it. Talk to someone about it. All you need is to find one yes. You may not even find that one yes.
One yes.
Yes. If you find one yes, you're good to go. Even if thousands of people say no, if there's one person that just said, Chris, why not just try it? Oh, like Chris was just telling me about how this studio came to life. You know, it was just one yes. If you find that one, someone to say, yes, let's do it. We can try. Then start from there. As soon as you take that first step, usually the doors open after you take a first step. I always sing it like a song. You know, I have a quote. My favorite quote is from this. It's actually an Islamic cleric, Rumi. The quote says, as you start to walk on the way appears. Wow. It's very mind-boggling. As you start to walk on the way. So it means that there is no way before. There is no way, there isn't a charted course for you to follow. There isn't that way that somebody has put there. Okay, Glory, this is the way, follow it. Right. It is you who must first make a first step, then the way appears. Because when you take the first step, you then figure out what you should do next will become clearer to you.
True.
Then who to call will become clearer to you. It's as if you're going along in a bush. You're trying to get to a forest. As soon as you take one step, then you're able to see the other grass there to clear so that you can pass. Then as you take a step forward, you're able to know what to do. The idea is to implement first. Implement first. Get knowledge around that area of interest. Get knowledge there and then implement first. Then what you will do will become clearer to you. Make sure you surround yourself and follow people that inspire you. Follow people like Chris Annie that inspires you, so you can learn from his business strategies that he shares out. And so that is what I think the question was, how did I do it? Yes, these were the things I tried out. In fact, when we started RETI as an institute, you know, when you hear RETI, you would think a big institute in your head, but we didn't start out like that. I started in my room at home.
Wow.
Yes. And then when people search on Google, till today, if you search on Google, I wish we can even show it on screen, you would see that the RETI is number 1 on Google My Business for anything renewable power, solar training. Once you search it, you will see RETI number 1. I started that in my room, but I started getting traction. So as a young business, do something. Don't wait for the finance. That's the mistake I made at first. Don't wait for the funding or the money. Yes, you must start to implement something. Do it for free at first. Do it for free so that you can say that you did this thing. You can post on social media that you did this thing. The US Embassy and all the people you will tag will see it that you did this thing. It is called traction. Traction is what funders, investors, and people who want to help you look out for. And so in the year that we started, I didn't know what to do. Of course, I didn't have the money. I did not have the money at all. And also, I'm not an engineer. I didn't even have the training. I just solved the problem. And I thought about how can I solve it. I was not an engineer till today. People think I'm an engineer. But of course, I've learned everything in the solar power. But I looked for a partner. Now, that's the second thing I will tell you. Collaborate with somebody who knows how to do it. Collaboration. That was the first thing we did. And we hosted our first training. I did not understand the physics and everything. But I got somebody who was doing that. And we did the first. And the profit I made from that training, 50,000 as a profit, I kept it outside. I then did another one. I was gathering all the profit. Then we bought our first solar panels. I was using all the profits for all the sessions I was doing in partnership. Reinvest money back. Yes. I use it. That was, see, nobody gave us any fund. Till today, I speak with investors and I make pitches. They will say, they'll ask, who has funded? Because they thought we were funded. It's just like you, Chris. I'm sure that you have not received any money from. Yes, but they thought I was funded. That for you to create this thing, you must have been. We recently created an online course platform. So people are like, were you funded? Where did you get it from? No, it was from all the monies I've made. From all the courses we did. And so find a partner to do that stuff together. That way you can learn. And that was how I learned from the other person that I worked with. I learned how to do the business because she had been doing it before. So you have to be smart and think about how you can work with other people. And then you can build a community. Build a community. At first, I did not know who to employ. We did not have money to employ. But I saw very talented people in the alumni that we trained. And that was very interesting because they were engineers already. These people come from engineering background. And so we offered them internship or volunteering slots. And that was how we built a team. So look around you. You see, some of these things are not very far. Look around you and see who you can work with. Who in your community you can build it with. Who in your church you can work with to do it. Instead of thinking about how to send CV to a recruitment firm. Oh, I want to employ someone. Recruit someone who is not qualified. Recruit someone who is not qualified and train them. That was also what we did. In fact, we currently have an intern who is not qualified. And he's the best employee we've ever had. Wow. And so that's how you can start. And slowly, you will build your business. You will find that you will learn lessons that are peculiar to you. You will find that the things I'll say here may not apply completely. But you can just implement some of them. You would learn your own lesson on the way. That's how it is. And then maybe in the next 2 years, you will sit down like this and talk about the lessons that you picked up on the way. But the key word here is start first. Thank you. Wow. This is a masterclass session for me. I hope you're getting all the notes. And please, all our viewers watching, use the comment section. Make sure you're able to list these points that Glory has been sharing. And please, we'll be on the lookout for the best comments and the prizes that associate with it. So Glory, I want you to do this under 1 minute.
if you were to give an advice to the Nigerian government as relates to your industry, what should the government be doing?
Oh, the government should create entrepreneurial development opportunities to capture raw talent. They should encourage innovation for that sector. And I know I talked with you briefly before I got in here about innovation.
Scenario.
Yes.
What you think the government should do? Should they bring the money to me, to you?
Oh, I think the government can create opportunities such as hackathons for young people to create solutions for the power problem.
Okay.
That's a way to harvest ideas.
Okay.
And then the government can select first, second, third, and actually build that business.
Okay.
Right? So I think that's one first way. Of course, the government can support education for the sector. The government can support people like us, RETI, who are already educating people in the sector so that we can train more people. The government should provide funding. Because yesterday, one of my students asked me this, just yesterday, one of our alumni asked me this, please, is there any soft loans? He says he has a business and he's ready to import from China, but he does not have the money. So he says, is there any soft loans that is available for the renewable energy industry? And then I thought of that.
Wow.
And I saw that there isn't. The soft loans available, the requirements, if you hear the requirements, it is for companies that have 20 or 30 years, not for like young people we're training.
Wow.
And so I found out that there wasn't that opportunity. So the government can provide that so that young people like these who have been trained and are willing to provide power can have access to the funds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I hope while you're watching, please make sure you're sharing this. If you have someone in government, a brother, a friend, or anyone, please share this because we need to tap into this renewable energy industry, and it's a big one. It has made billionaires like Elon Musk and co, and we should not be left behind. So Glory, let's go to this edition, a bit of fun touch. If you were to be a celebrity billionaire, who would you be?
Elon Musk.
If I mention solar business, what comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind is RETI, access to electricity, 247 power.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I mention a superhero, who comes to your mind?
Wonder Woman. Thank God I practiced it.
Right. Okay, so guys, that's a wrap for today. Glory, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being, you're a business leader for the week. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, that, I said earlier that lots of business opportunities in the solar industry. And Daba is going to have an announcement for you guys soon.
Let me say that.
Because that's what we've been talking about since I met him first.
So if you're watching, there's a link on the screen, daba.school/. There's a link on the screen where you join the waiting list for the solar course. We're launching a solar business course on Daba by Glory. So you want to play in the solar industry, you want to be a business person, you want to understand the value chains, the market share. So anywhere you are in the world, in Germany, in Brazil, in Angola, Thailand, of course, if you have sun, then you have renewable energy.
That's right.
That means this course is for you. If you're a businessman, a politician, an engineer, or whatever industry you're playing in, this course is for you. So click on the link or go to the website showing on your screen to join the waiting list. And also, on the screen also, you're going to see all the various books Glory has written concerning this industry. And the way to get them, the links and the list are being projected right now on the screen. Make sure you get them and upgrade your capacity. This is where the future is going to. That's the likes of Tesla, the likes of Neuralink, Elon Musk, and everything they are doing along the renewable. So there's even a talk, even in the Bitcoin industry, concerning green energy for mining. So
I also heard it.
This is a big opportunity. The way to predict the future is to create it.
That's
and one of those ways to create it is to be part of something that is the future. So if you play in an industry that is the future, you're already part of it already. So I'm sure that we need to create new millionaires, new billionaires in this industry. And that's why you should take education interesting and seriously. I don't want to stop this, but I just have to. Please remember to share this, put a comment, and join us next week on who is going to be the business leader of the week. Till I come your way next time, Do have a lovely, lovely week ahead. God bless you.